Okay, so we come to the third question, which says we should simplify 2x raised to the power of 1 all over 2 divided by, in brackets, q raised to the power of 3 divided by 4x raised to the power of 2. So how do we solve this question? It's very simple. It's a very simple question. Just observe that this numerator looks like this. You remember this? So the numerator looks like that. So if the numerator looks like this, it means you can express it as this, right? So that is what we are going to do. We express the numerator in this way. So what do you end up having, right? But remember that this 3 applies to everything. It applies to these 2 and it applies to this as well. So for this term, you apply this cube, this 3 to it. You apply this 3 to it. What do I mean? You have this times this, right? Sorry, over 2. Then the 3 is applied to it. All over the 4x squared. So take a good look at it. This is what you do. Just apply this 3 to the 2 and apply it to this as well. So once you are done with that, you can then evaluate. You end up 2 raised to the power 3 is 2 times 2 times 2. That's 2 times 2 times 2, right? And how about this? Apply this rule here to this. So 3 times 1, 3, all over 2, times x raised to the power 3 over 2, divided by 4x squared. So what do you end up having? You end up having 8x 3 over 2 divided by 4x squared. So the numbers can go with each other. Why the letters? What happens to this letter? Remember this law. 3 over 2 divided by x squared. You remember? Or better still, this is all what it is actually. But I'm trying to bring in a law that looks like this. You remember? Yes, you do. That law that says xa divided by xb, right? A minus b. So just apply this law here. Then you know you have this in here. Let me see if I can squeeze it in. 3 over 2 minus 2. So you go. 8 divided by 4 is 2. Alright. Then 3 over 2 minus 2. Right. That is something you can evaluate, right? Just use your LCM. So you end up with 3 minus 2. So you have 2 times 2 and 3. So 3 minus 4, right? This is basic mathematics. Just basic maths. Then you apply it there. So you have x raised to the power of minus 1 over 2. So with this, you are good to go. You're almost done. Can we still simplify this further? Yes, of course. Look at this. Does it look like something familiar? You remember of the 7 laws? Yes, it does. You remember that law that says x raised to the power minus a is equals to 1 all over x raised to the power a. You apply it here. So you end up with 2 times 1 all over x half. Can we still take this thing further? Look at the denominator here. Does it resemble something? Yes, it still does. So you see we are applying the 7 laws. Isn't it fun? It's very interesting. Look at this. It still applies to that law. You remember that law that says x raised to the power of 1 over a is equals to a root x. Remember, just apply that law there. So you have 2 times 1 all over square root of x. Final answer becomes 2 all over square root of x. So let's go to the next question. Just take a good look at it. This is something you need to settle down and understand. But it's very simple. We'll go to the next question, second to the last question. Okay, this is second to the last question, and it says x raised to the power of 3 over 2 is equals to 8, where x raised to the power of x greater than 0, x is greater than 0, and y raised to the power of minus 2 is equals to 25 over 4. But the question now says we should work out the value of x all over y. So how do we work out the value of x all over y? Very simple. So it's very simple. All you just need to do is you have to right, let's look for the value of x, then look for the value of y, then we divide both of them. The first one is x raised to the power 3 over 2 is equals to 8. What does that give you? You remember that law of indices that says x a over b is equals to b root x. Apply that law. You see, it looks like it, right? But you know you can't apply it. You can definitely apply it to make this x look like this, yes, but you will somehow need it. What do I mean? Forgive me that I'm looking at the future. You somehow need it. This is what I mean. To make this x stand alone, you need to use the reciprocal of 3 over 2 so that it can cancel out. So if you have the reciprocal of 3 over 2, you multiply both sides by the reciprocal of 3 over 2, which is 2 over 3, something like this. You will cancel out this power, then the x will stand alone, then you have a value for x. That's what I mean. But in the long run, you will end up applying this law. I was too fast forward. I was too forward rather. Please forgive me on that. So you have this x. So now you can apply this law as I initially thought. You have this. So the cube root of 8 is 2. 2 square. So you have 2 square, which is what? 4. So the value of x is 4. So let's look for the value of y. Y raised to the power minus 2 is equals to 25 over 4. Now this is very simple. It's very simple. All you just need to do is see this law. You remember that law in the previous video, right? X raised to the power minus a is equals to 1 over x raised to the power a. Just apply that law here. 1 over y square, 25 over 4. So cross multiply, right? Cross multiply. You end up with 4 over 25 is equals to y square. Y will come here. 4 will come here, right? That's y times 25. Okay, let's take it step by step so that people that are still trying to understand mathematics. Then 4 times 1, 4. Y times 25. So divide both sides by 25, right? Sorry, I've cancelled it already. Let me write it here again. So you say end up with the y square is equals to 4 over 25. But remember, we are looking for y, not y square. So how do you solve for y? Just the same thing you did here. The reciprocal of 2, you can use it to cancel out these 2. Reciprocal of 2 is 1 all over 2, right? The inverse. So you have this 1 over 2. And whatever you do for left hand side, do it for right hand side, right? 1 all over 2. So therefore, this becomes y, right? Because 2 will cancel 2. But what will happen here? See this law. Something like this, but this. Just apply it here. So you know you have a big square root of 4 over 25, which will give you what? 2 over 5. But is that your answer? No, of course. This is the value of y actually. So, but the equation says we should evaluate x over y. So what becomes? X is 4, y is 12 over 5. So it means x over y is equals to 4 divided by 2 over 5. So what would that be? 4 times 2 over 5, right? 5 will come up. So 4 times 5 is 20. 20 divided by 2 is 10. So that's it. Or you can say 2 here 1, 2 here 2, which will give you 10. So the value is 10. So we'll go to the final solution. So we are done with all our exercises.